Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video, I'll be unboxing the WARCRY OGROID Myrmidon. Before we start the video, I'd just like to wish you a Happy New Year for 2021. What's your first WARCRY build or project going to be this year? I'd love to hear about it, so let me know in the comments below. I had to start the year off in style with the OGROID Myrmidon, and this is a great miniature, so enjoy the video and Happy New Year. This OGROID Myrmidon looks so cool, and I've watched a bunch of videos of people painting this, and I thought I've got to get him, and he's got to be part of the WARCRY world here. So we picked it up, and we're so happy we did. It just looks great. One thing I really wanted to see was how big it is, so I'll make sure I include that in the video here, and I'll do a full unboxing. We'll go through all the sprues, the fighter type card that's included, the different abilities, and then I'll build it for this video, and we'll compare it with some of the signs of the flame, and then you can see just how big the OGROID is, and then if it's worth something that you'd like to pick up. So RRP on this guy is £25. I paid £21.25 with a discount at Element Games. I'll put a link to that in the description below. It is an affiliate link, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. In fact, it's going to save you money, and every sale made through that link, I'll get a small commission, and then I use that to develop the channel and produce more content like this. So thanks so much for that support. I really appreciate it. Okay, let's get him open and see what's inside. So this is great. I bought the Chimera, but I was too late to get the WARCRY version, so I had to pick up the like web-only version, which came in a boring white box. But this one's perfect. It comes in the WARCRY packaging we're used to and love so much. And on the back, it gives us all the details about what's inside. We're going to get the miniature, the card for the fighter type, and we're going to get the ability cards too. And I wonder if we're going to get any kind of rune mark here. Yeah, we are. And then we get a little rune mark there on the back, on the tab, sorry. That's really good. And no tray inside. It's quite a small box. And I imagine we're only going to get one sprue, which we do. Going to get our cards and book. And then we're going to get our base. So the base here, we're looking at being, that's a 50mm base. So that should give you some idea of how big this miniature is going to be. And here we are, let's look at the sprue first. And here we go, here's the sprue. One thing I've really been looking forward to is this shield, which is so great, really big. And then you can put some skulls on this if you want to, which you can see one there. You can see can you see it's got a little spike through the head there? So you can put that on as if it's been impaled on the shield, which is nice. And I'm loving the detail so far. This is so great. Look at that. Got the hooves, which are awesome. Oh, and here's the face. Yeah, that's great. Look at that. And the spear. I just think it's so cool. Oh, I'll also have a look at the books to see how we can use this guy in our warbands too. So we'll make sure we do that in this video. There you are, that's the sprue. And then we get our instruction book. Move that out of the way. And we get this little pack here, which is going to have our single fighter type card, but the abilities for all the different languages. So let's get this open. And man, this is so nice. We've got the ability card with just the one single miniature on, and that looks awesome. With a lot of the others in all these different languages, there's just no use for them. But this one, you could cut this out and just use it as a little card, a little poster. It just looks great. That's really good. But we'll get rid of all the different languages and just keep the English one. So let's put those out of the way. And then on the back, we're going to get the abilities. It looks like we're getting 3. And we'll go through these in conjunction with the fighter type card, which is here. And here it is. Here's the card. Really nice. With the rune mark on the back. So I just wanted to check this rune mark. And in the core book, you can see on page 50 and 51, it gives you rune marks for all the different rune marks that are going to be in the game. And this one is for a chaotic beast. So there we go. Okay, so let's take a look at our fighter type card. And so this guy, he is 295 points. He's got a chaotic beast rune mark. And he's also got these two here. This one means he's like an ally, so you can use him in your different war bands. He's got a movement of 5, can take 35 damage with a toughness of 6. And here he's got his weapon, which is the spear, and he's got range of 2, can make 3 attacks, strength 5, dealing 4 to 8 on a crit. So this guy's really cool. He's going to be a great addition to a warband, and I can't wait to build it and see what he looks like. But before we do that, let's look at the abilities. Here we are. So we get 3 abilities here, and on a double, it's called Berserk. A fighter can only use this ability if 20 or more damage points have been allocated to them. Add half the value of this ability, rounding up, to the attacks characteristic of the next attack action made by this fighter, this activation, that has a range characteristic of 3 or less. Okay, so that was quite a mouthful there, but breaking it down, as long as he's took 20 points of damage, he can use this ability on a double, and you want it to be high, so certainly 4 or up, or 3, 4, 5 or 6, and then that's going to give him extra that he can add to his attack characteristic. So if you even get a 4 or a 3 and you halve it, then we're looking at 2, so he can then make 5 attacks. So that's really great. If you get 5 or 6, you can add 3 to that. So that's a really great ability there for a double, but he has to have taken 20 damage points before he can use it. Okay, he's also got another one here on a triple called Arcane Fury. Until the end of this fighter's activation, add the value of this ability to the damage points allocated by each critical hit from attack actions made by this fighter that have a range characteristic of 3 or less. Okay, another mouthful here. All our range characteristics are going to be 3 or less, so that's no problem. Again, if this is high, like 5 or 6 triple here, triple 5s or 6s, we can add the value of the ability to the damage points allocated by critical hits. So only critical hits, but that's going to take this 8 to potentially 14. So, whoa, that's huge. This is a beast. He's really good. And I'm loving the ability so far. So let's see what the next ability is. And on a quad, it's called Blood Marshal. Pick a friendly fighter within 4 inches of the fighter using this ability. Allocate 1 damage point to that fighter. If the fighter picked is not taken down, that fighter can make a bonus attack action that has a range characteristic of 3 or less. Okay, I didn't expect an ability like this, but you've got to be close to another fighter, a friendly fighter, within 4 inches, and then you give them 1 damage point. If it doesn't take them down, then they can make a bonus attack action as long as their range is 3 or less. I don't know how that fits in with him really, but I like the first 2 a lot, and I guess he's such a big presence on the battlefield. He's going to inspire everyone around him to get stuck in. So it kind of makes sense. But I think these 2 are much better. And I'll definitely be looking forward to using this Arcane Fury. But there we go. That's our abilities and all the stats for our Ogroid Myrmidon. And it just looks awesome. So now let's take a look at the book and how we can bring this guy into our warband and how we can play him, and then after that I'll get him built and we can check out a comparison for size. So here we've got our Monsters and Mercenaries book, and on page 52 onwards it shows us how we can use allies in our warband. So every ally has a faction rune mark, and this one here is the Chaotic Beast. And then we look at the ally allegiance table and it shows us who we can play this miniature with. So there's the rune mark for the Ogroid Myrmidon, and it looks like he can play with any of these 8 warbands. And just quickly grabbing the original core rulebook, we can see here that the Ogroid can play with the Iron Golem, the Untamed Beast, Corvus Cabal, the Cypher Lords, Scions of the Flame, Splintered Fang, the Unmade, and the Spire Tyrants. So if you've got any of the original Warcry warbands, the Ogroid's going to be an ally to all of those, so that's really cool. So on this page it shows you how you can use it in open and match play, narrative play, and it also goes into a little bit of detail here about how you can or cannot use some of the abilities that come with the warband you've allied with. So I think this is kind of important to get if you want to start adding some heroes, and that's all from that Monsters and Mercenaries book. So I will say this is something I've got no experience with, adding an ally to the warband. So if you guys have got any tips, or if I've got anything wrong there, or if there's anything I should be adding, please let me know in the comments below. I'd like to get it right really, so that'd be really helpful to anyone watching, so thanks so much if you can add to this. Okay, I'm going to go and build this guy now, and then we'll have a look and see how big he is compared to the Scions of the Flame. And here's our instruction book that comes with the Ogroid Myrmidon, and the colour scheme's great, but I think I'm going for something a bit more like elaborate. I'm not sure which colour yet. I've seen blue, pink, purple ones, and they all look awesome, but I just can't decide yet. But let's have a look at the build, and from that one sprue, it's going to be pretty straightforward. And the join's going to be well hidden with all these different materials and everything. Perhaps this bit might be a bit tricky, but we'll find out. Really nice, that tail's really cool. The choice of weapons, I love it. The spear and the shield. And we've got to have some skulls impaled on there. And then we get a nice simple colour scheme that we can use to paint this bad boy up. And there we are. Like I always say, I want to see some more contrast paints being included in these guides. And hopefully they will in the future. But otherwise this is a good start. And just to give an idea, if you want to do it true to the box art. But I think we've got to go a bit more elaborate on this guy. He's so cool. Great, so that's our book. Here we go, here's our Ogroid Myrmidon. And this was a great miniature to build. I think this is probably my favourite miniature I've built so far. Really easy to put together. The seams were so closely like woven into all the different shapes that they really are well hidden, and a little bit of scraping of the mould lines you'd expect on certainly on a big model like this, but not too much. And he went together really easily, and he just looks great. I'm so happy with this. And size wise, we're looking at about 7 centimeters high, and you can see here from the spear to the tip of the spear, you're looking at about, it goes across about 8 centimeters, so on a 50mm base. So that's the size wise, but let's have some close-up photographs of this guy with the Scions of the Flame, and I think that would be a better way for you to see. I could show you here, but I think with some nice photos you're going to get a much better look at this guy. There's that shield with the skulls on. Right, so I'll take some photos now, and then we'll see him compared in size with those. So here we go, this is a better way to take a really good look at him, and you can see that face is so full of character, and what an awesome miniature. I'm really happy with this. And then from the side here, he just looks amazing. This is going to be brilliant to add to a warband, and I really like the idea that he will fit into any of the 8 original Warcry warbands. That's so good. And here go from the back, that tail whipping around, and from the top. It just even looks good from that angle, which is brilliant. And then up close, that face is perfect. It just suits the model so well. He's like walking along, and then he's just having a little look to see what's happening. Brilliant. And now let's compare him to some Scions of the Flame. And you can see, to be fair, he's not as big as I thought he was going to be. I thought he was going to be a lot bigger than this. There's our Blazing Lord next to him. And you can see I've got a little bit of cork on the base there, lifting it up a little bit. And they're almost the same height. But when compared with one of the initiates, he really is about twice as tall and looks really menacing there. And next to this guy, I think this is a good size comparison, because it's quite a big model. To be next to him like that and still standing tall looks really good. And here's the Ogroid next to the Chimera, and I thought they were going to be similar size because of the price point being very similar, but he's not, and I wouldn't say I'm disappointed with that. It's just such a great looking model. I hope this video's helped you and given you a good idea about how big this Ogroid Myrmidon is and what you get for your money. I think getting that discount element games makes him well worth it, and I think adding him with those really good abilities to a Warcry warband is going to be really fun. Let me know what you think about the Ogroid in the comments below. Maybe you've got him and already played with him already, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about that. That'd be great. Thanks so much for watching the video. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more content like this, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games.